Hello, y'all. Hello, Virgo. Happy birthday, Virgo gang. Welcome to Virgo season. Y'all, I really wasn't sure what to expect in this space. Honestly, I feel like one of the wild cards in the zodiac, in my personal opinion, is the Virgo energy. And it honestly delivered. I feel like you're about to have your ego stroked a little bit, Virgo. So enjoy this moment, baby. Your energy is amazing, honestly. Very similar to the Gemini energy. I'm here for this. It's good. It's good stuff. However, before we get into your reading, if I can steal a couple seconds of your time just to make a couple announcements. The first announcement is that I will only be doing zodiac readings and messages from spirit on this channel. I will no longer be doing no contact readings or looking into a connection. I've had a disconnect from that space for a while. The comments often are so freaking negative, and I just don't want to deal with it anymore. And I think that my disconnect actually had something to do with that. So I'm loving, however, the zodiac readings. I feel much more at home in this space. I feel like I can really communicate with y'all in a way that I feel just there was a disconnect in the pick a card readings. So I'm already enjoying this space a lot more, especially when I tap into energy like yours, Virgo. It's really good. The second announcement is that I am currently chronicling 6 years of journaling and teaching myself cognitive behavioral therapy through a quote unquote toxic relationship, as well as figuring out behavioral therapy through correlating things that I experienced in my childhood and how those impacted me as an adult, and working through understanding relationship dynamics. So these are all things that I essentially am self-taught on. I mean, I did do a lot of research on it, but that's one space that you can follow me at. It's kind of chronicling this journey. I swear. Welcome to the shit show, Virgo. So anyway, I'm so sorry. So anyway, in the description box, there is a follow me on Insta space. If you go down past the Temporal Taurus Insta, which you can follow me there as well, is the personal Instagram at It's Crystal Danielle. That's listed on there. That is sort of insight into my personal world and how I got here into communicating on behalf of our relationship with ourselves. So if that sounds like your cup of coffee, you should check it out. Okay. Okay, tapping right into your reading, Virgo, is I've been listening to music for each of the zodiacs, and as soon as I knew, y'all, I actually own a business, right? And so I had a goal in mind that I was going to complete edits on a gallery for my business, and then I was going to go ahead and go and record the Virgo reading. And like, dude, the second that I ended the edits on that, the song Real Slim Shady came in, and I just knew that this was the Virgo energy popping in, like, all right, it's my turn. And I even wrote here, like, such Virgo energy, LOL, because every Virgo I know is so unapologetically themselves. It's like, oh, you don't like me? Why? Like, that sounds like a you problem. Like, that's such a Virgo way of looking at things and dealing with people. Which is really interesting, actually, because what a dynamic, right? Because Virgo energy is so like of service to others as well. But yeah, it's like if you have a Virgo that likes you, I really feel like you should feel quite special, because it takes a lot, I think. Anyway, so the next space that you have is Chemical by Post Malone, and it is like, you break me and I break my rules, right? And here's this line here too, is that like a Virgo will not break their rules for anyone, but if they like you enough you can break down those walls, right? And then they're loyal as hell, obviously, because they are earth energy. Earth energy is relatively loyal, right? And then the last space, and what I actually pulled out your cards to was Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe from Kendrick Lamar, which was like the overarching theme of your energy for the month of September. And one line that I pulled out when I was actually in the middle of pulling out all your cards was, you can stay in your box. And I feel like that's something that, again, like every Virgo that I know, is they operate just outside of even outside of, I guess, expectation in how they look at the world around them. Usually quite eclectic, usually have very specific niches and things that they really like that make them unique. Some of my favorites, I always find that one thing I like about Virgos is that y'all seem to have like impeccable taste in music. Many of the Virgos that I know are among the only people whose music I actually like. As I'm like really stingy myself about music, and I always like, there's so many, like Virgos tend to have like just great, like y'all bring the vibe. So I'm here for it. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'll like explain the dynamic of how we're going to do this reading for you. So what we'll start with is your energy read. Then we'll go into selecting your self-care card, which will sit over here until the end of your reading. And then we'll go into a reading just for you, then a reading for singles, and then we'll go into a reading for those in a connection, and then we'll end it with your self-care card being revealed and doing a self-care message for you. So let's go ahead and dive right in. I feel like the most important card that you have laid out here is the Dragon card. This is not arguably, it is, I think, the best card that you can have fall out of the Spirit Animal deck, from my perspective, in my opinion, is also the last, it's like the last space in the book. It is the highest vibration, I guess, but it also is like it is the end trajectory of a pathway. Okay, so the pathway is starting out in sort of this scorpion energy, and then it moves into the hawk, and then it moves into the phoenix, and then it arrives as the dragon. The dragon is capable of having shed skin in order to move into its own authenticity. And something that is like, I don't know if it's just conducive of like it being your season right now, being in Virgo energy for us all, but it's like, yeah, it really is that bitch don't kill my vibe. Bitch don't kill my vibe. Like you're in a decent upcurrent. You're in a space of really flowing into that which feels good to you, and doing so unapologetically as well, I might add. The hummingbird here too is like is like, you know, tasting like the nectar. One thing about hummingbirds too that I just found out not that long ago, actually, like I was photographing this older couple that are like in their 70s, and they told me like they're like, did you know that hummingbirds actually spend like the majority of their time bickering with one another, and then they do actually like getting, you know, the nectar or whatever. And I'm like, do they really? They're like, yeah, they're over there like kind of like, you know, she's like, that's what they're doing, is like kind of like bickering in a way. That's how they operate, that's how they communicate with one another. And it's such a interesting thing because I feel like every Virgo that I have ever known, we have like got off on the wrong foot at one point and then like came back together like solid as shit, right? And so it's kind of funny because it is like there's a defensiveness to your energy sometimes, where it's like you it's so strange. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like you can say something to a Virgo and they're gonna, like, if they feel any type of way, they're gonna take that as like the most pessimistic thing that you said to them, and then have like some kind of reaction to it. They're gonna analyze you. And sometimes I think that what they do then is like analyze you, and then it reaches to a point like, oh shit, you're actually kind of cool. Like and it's like a, oh man, kind of moment. Or they analyze you and they're like, yeah, I was right, because I'm always right. And that's like very much just like the Virgo vibe a little bit, which I love it though, because y'all move so authentically. I think that's why I just like really connect in with that energy so much. I love the way that it operates. I love the way that y'all just, you know, do whatever sort of feels right to you, and really in disregard of what anyone else thinks of it. Hang on one second. Okay. Sorry. Might have a little bit of distracting energy around you. What I think is really important for y'all in the month of September is here. I actually have not been taking any cards in the reverse for these energies, but this came out like specifically in the reverse, and I was like, with all of the other energy, I really feel like for your reading, Virgo, I think this is intended to be in the reverse. And this round and round energy is like breaking yourself outside of a cycle, and really feeling good about it too. It's like you're finally feeling like, like I can breathe, and I have like, like I have options, I have choices, I have you learn some kind of lesson from this, because arguably if you stepped outside of a cycle, then it's like this cycle of choosing yourself or doing something differently than the way that you had been operating before, and then reaping the reward for that decision. And I think that's really amazing for you. And the other thing too I have here is like a leg up. When I was pulling that card in particular, it made me think about how it's like it was sort of arrogant, but not in a bad way. It was just like knowing our worth to the extent that was like, I mean, how it kind of read was like, I mean, you can think that you can take my spot, but you can't, because I'm Virgo. It's like, that's how it kind of read. Now I do feel like you are at a crossroads though in something, but it's like weird, because even though you have this fork in the road here coming in, Virgo, I don't feel like it's necessarily like a bad thing. I feel like it's more so like, this is what I want for myself, and that's that, you know. It's like a decision, and arguably like sometimes, don't shoot the messenger, Virgo, but y'all tend to be quite analytical. I would actually consider you the zodiac that is like the thinkers of the zodiac. I think that you're probably definitely among those who do quite a bit of analyzing, and are also unintentionally quite critical, even, where you're like the perfectionist of the zodiac, you know, which actually makes you really really great at like whenever you are like, when you're good at something, you are like the best at it, kind of thing too. So it's not always a bad thing, unless you're on the receiving end of it, and it's not super fun. So also here you have obstacles or detours in the right direction. I feel like whatever you have going on is like an awareness that it's like, it's sort of giving like, I got this, like I can handle this, I can handle, oh, it's so interesting, because for some reason I'm thinking again of earlier in the Leo reading, I mentioned Mercutio from Romeo and Juliet, where he's like, I scratch. And it was like, which it's probably a really bad analogy actually, because it's like, you know, to him it was like a minor hiccup, which actually ended up being a little bit bigger than anticipated, obviously, because you know how that ended. This is probably the worst analogy ever, but but it is like obstacles being in the way, but understanding that it's something that you're able to kind of triumph over. And more importantly, it just really feels like you're ready for that, you know, kind of ready for a new beginning or a new trajectory or a new pathway even. And this one I love. This is like, so I love this one, especially because there's all the butterflies around it. So I do feel like you have been really in some transformative energy and really building into yourself and really honoring yourself, honestly. And I love the fact that it says my vibes speak louder than my words, because that is so true. Like I said, when I was sitting down and I was not even at your reading yet. I knew that the next thing I was going to do was record this video, but your energy, like the second that I ended that, where I was, you know, working somewhere else, it's like I knew I was in the Virgo energy, and I was like, okay, I was being called by the Virgo energy to sit down and do this reading. And I love that for you. I love when any zodiac is honoring themselves, but being that you are among a zodiac who often does operate in a space of being of service to others, I think it's beautiful when a zodiac sign that operates in that way really does honor themselves. Now, I don't think that Virgos really have too much of a problem honoring themselves, but it is when you end up in certain spaces and with certain people that you tend to be a little bit more of service in those spaces than you would be in other areas. Like a Virgo is very, very loyal. So I love that, you know, that this building into ourselves is not coming with a sacrifice of yourself. Okay. So that is your energy for your birthday. For some of you, it's probably already past your birthday, so happy belated birthday. Train confirmation, baby. Okay, so we're going to set aside this self-care. Sweet Jesus. Sometimes the train conductors, I think it's like, they all have a different way of like letting us all know that they're here. And some of them are just, I'm here. And maybe we're in a synchronized space. I don't know. I know of so many Virgos right now that would be like, oh, okay. That would think that that last statement was absolute bullshit. It's just a train. It probably goes through every day at 8 o'clock. Oh my gosh. Okay. I love your energy. Okay. It's so fun. Definitely the skeptics among the Virgo population. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go into a reading just for you. You do have the Wheel of Fortune popping out, as well as the Five of Cups right off the bat. Wheel of Fortune, wheels turning, new ideas, new beginnings, walking away from that which no longer serves us with that Five of Cups, or even being in a reflective state. You could be, now here's the thing. Here we are in this space here, and I was talking about being of service, which is so conducive of your energy, right? Here you are in this like looking, sort of reflecting in and looking outwards, and also walking away from things that no longer serve you. One of the things that you could be walking away from is always being of service to others, or sort of always being of service to everyone but yourself. And I'm actually so here for that for you. I love that. Okay. Reading just for Virgo, for their energy. General reading. What does Virgo need to know for the month of September? You may be in some kind of planning, or you are planning, planning some sort of new beginning. Oh my gosh, your energy is just so like, Seven of Pentacles, the Sun. I'm not going to take all those cards. Planting some sort of roots, something that you're working on, moving into a little bit more of a positive space for you. Like this is something that you've contemplated for a while. Part of you, though, I feel like is like apprehensive about this. And the only reason I say that there's some apprehension, I also want to say that you could be walking away from something, or putting something down or something behind you. Now, the only reason I say that there's some apprehension, or there's like some sort of like, it's sort of operating like, it's like you'll feel like, okay, this is it. This is like the right choice for me. I'm gonna do this, and then you get a little bit unironically inside your head about it, and it's like, maybe this is too good to be true. Maybe this is not the right thing. Maybe I'm making the wrong decision. What if it ends up like this? And it's like, then you go down that analytical snowball, right? Ultimately, you could have an energy surrounding you, or this could even be your energy too, of like feeling very passionate about some sort of new beginning. Passionate, I feel like the passion here is like about the work that you're willing to put into a space, or that you have put into your space, or even the work that you've been putting into self, right? Seeing this sort of pathway forward, this trajectory forward, this there's so many like cards that are representative of like look at this lady that's like, oh, like just jumping into the wind. And so is this, like, this is giving like such like Sound of Music vibes. It's like, how does that song go? I like literally can hear it. I can like, it's like at the tip of my tongue. Anyway, when she's out in the field, you know, it's very whimsical in that way, or just some like looking at life from honestly a different lens than we maybe have been looking at things from in the past. And also I think it's really interesting that these cards here are all kind of like leaning towards this King of Wands energy here, right? Okay. So you have like this card looking this way, this card looking this way. These feminine energies here are sort of fixated on this I guess like very passionate masculine energy. And you can flip this however it works for you. If you're a masculine or a feminine, I read to 98% of a feminine collective. So it's like doing some sort of planning, and that's the duality here. Okay, that's what's existing for you, Virgo, is these two, is unironically, Virgo and Libra, who are back to back in the zodiac, tend to be the most analytical and occasionally indecisive. I would actually argue that Virgo is much more decisive than Libra, but that's just me. So these are the trajectories that you're kind of teetering between for the month of September. It's like, okay, like I see the path ahead. I see what I want in front of me. Everything is sort of I know what I want, okay? And you're looking at this, willing to sort of walk away from that which doesn't serve you. But then on the other side of it, it's like operating a little bit like an angel on your shoulder and a devil on your shoulder a little bit. And so here's, not that the Page of Cups is a devil energy, but it is just, at least in this tarot, it is operating like, well, what if this doesn't go in your favor? What if this fails? What if you made the wrong choice? What if you're not seeing this properly? What if you're wrong? What if this happens? What if? And it's very, I mean, it's a little bit, just a little bit self-sabotaging a little bit. But ultimately, I feel like the other energy here is really, really good for you. So I don't think it's going to trip you up too much. You are in these sort of like these forward trajectory type of emotions. You are in this space of willing to do the work in a situation. You are in a space of planting a seed and wanting to see it grow. Let's get you an outcome card here. That's an outcome for this general read for Virgo, please. You have the King of Cups, and also the Queen of Swords. That's so funny. I feel it's not funny, sorry. It's just funny because they operate so much differently, and that's literally, it is literally going between head and heart, is sort of like the thing that is existing in this space, this duality of this decision-making process that you're doing. Ultimately, I think you're making a pretty big decision. And I think the reason that we can't see really a trajectory is because this is like a space of free will for you. And this is very contingent upon, okay, like what happens? Ooh, actually, you know what we could do? Okay, so let's say you operate on emotion. What is the outcome in that space? We're going to creep on you. What is the... I don't know if we're going to be able to get this out of tarot, really. There's this card here. Like a new beginning. I swear, if it gives me like a new beginning card. And what about if we operate through the Queen of Swords energy? Okay, that's actually, okay. So, you know, I would actually encourage you to get out of your head, which is, you know, I think that that's sort of the Virgo thing anyway, to be a little bit analytical, right? And sometimes you can just overanalyze. So in this situation, you know, I think you're making a really big choice, but ultimately I feel like you are, you're sort of in a space of like following your heart or following your intuition. And I think that that's what's guiding you, but it's like your own mind sort of tripping you up and getting in the way of that. This energy over here is sort of, it's almost operating, I would even say, in alignment with this. Okay, and that's like a challenge for you. I don't know why this like just reminded me of this cycle, right? It's like, okay, we've been here before. We've been in the space in which we're over analyzing. We've been in the space in which we you know, even sort of analyze it into a space that we end up like so far off base because we just convinced ourselves that something was what we thought it was. I swear, if this dang fly does not go away. Sorry. Sorry, Virgo. Okay. Let's move you into singles reading. And then we'll do connections. Singles. Ooh, we popped open to the Empress. Singles energy, please, for Virgo. 10 of Pentacles and the Empress. Okay. That is like abundance. There's that cup of love. Okay. Single Virgos. What you got going on? Single as a Pringle. Virgo. Something coming in quickly. Oh my word. Okay. Here's that King of Pentacles. There's the Empress. There's the Ace of Cups. Ah, and the Sun. What? Y'all, you're getting like a really good reading, just like Gemini did. Gemini got a really great reading too. I'm so here for y'all, your energy. Six of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So, interestingly enough, if you are not in a connection, you are about to be. Okay, so this is about someone coming in very quickly. This is a very stable energy in this King of Pentacles space that is like, I mean, honestly, I would say that it's like offering a cup of love to the Empress, who is also a very stable, very nurturing energy, very positive, sort of the light. What's interesting is like the darkest card on this board is the King of Pentacles. So it's like, it's almost like the King of Pentacles is looking at the Empress and is like, I like your light. I want to be a part of that. I want to give to it. Take my cup of love. Yeah, it's very cut and dry like that. that's just how it reads. Let's get you an outcome card. You do have the Nine of Cups on the bottom of the deck. This is wish fulfillment space, so this is decent. What do we have? This is here. Page of Pentacles. So also Six of Pentacles here. This is another giving energy. The Hierophant and the Two of Pentacles, something balancing out in your favor, arguably something that you have had faith in or something that you've prayed for in some way, okay? This is offering, these are offering cards, okay? So this is something that's being offered to you, some sort of reciprocity or being in this like equal give and take energy. And this is going to move in relatively quickly for you in the month of September. So this is, I don't know, baby, like buckle up, get ready, okay? Because you got some things going on. Okay, let's get you the Virgos in a connection or with someone in mind. Okay, Virgos involved in a connection. There's that Eight of Wands energy, something again moving in quickly. Virgos involved in a connection, please. Justice, scales of justice balancing in your favor. This is good karma. There's that Queen of Pentacles coming out. Such, like, the energy in your space is so good. Oh, it's just really good. Okay, Virgo's involved in a connection. Knight of Wands. Definitely wanted to bring some passion into this connection, or some passion will be brought into it. Oh, these are dirty cards. Look at how dirty this is. You may take something to the next level. Anyway. Here's my offer. Okay, Virgos involved in a connection. 2 more cards, please. Virgos in a connection. Here you are. The Emperor, the Lovers, the Knight of Swords. Bottom of the deck. Oh, here we go. There's counterparts. Oh my gosh, like y'all, Gemini got this reading too. Are you operating with a Gemini? I'm a Gemini rising, and I read that and I was like, I honestly, like, I actually resonate within the Virgo vibe that was like, yeah, when pigs fly. That's kind of how I saw my reading too, because I'm like so single that it's like, okay, you know, like this is all happening in September, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is. It's great energy, right? So here's what's going on in this connection. It's like, there's going to be some passion brought into this. This is arguably, like, these 2 cards, I don't know how to twist this for you, Virgo. I guess we're going to get dirty. You want to get rowdy. But this is actually, like, just giving such sexual energy over here of, like, perhaps, like, taking something to the next level within a connection. You know, getting physical, I guess. I don't know. Now, here in this, like, challenge space, okay? The conflict here, I think, is realistically, like, the conflicting energy is existing so much in self, but also someone in this connection is like, is in their head a bit about whether like the other person has options or has competition, or you're viewing it as though, I mean, here's the thing. If you're showing up as the Emperor and the Empress, I would actually argue that you both probably do have options, right? So, but it's like this awareness here, and then it's kind of like, okay, so this page is kind of operating a little bit slowly, you know, which is interesting because also there was the Eight of Wands popping out, and the Eight of Wands is really fast moving energy as well. So it's kind of like, okay, I want this, I want to experience this, and then there's like a slowing, okay, and then going, okay, like, let's go. And then when the let's go comes in, this right here, these 3 cards are so conducive. This is I mean, I guess this is the ultimate combination in terms of a connection. The Emperor and the Empress, these are both stable energies. These are the embodiment of all the kings and queens, right? So every King of Cups, every king, you know, or it's like the King of Cups, the King of Wands, the King of Pentacles, etc. And the same thing with the Empress. They are in the embodiment. This is the ultimate sort of stability. This is like their higher, the highest versions of self in this moment. These two are operating from an understanding of their position and what they have to offer, and ultimately are very willing to work on it. Now, what's interesting too, some of this conflict here actually is existing a little bit in this lover space too. It's like these two are like, we choose each other regardless of what anybody else thinks. And I think there could be some energy around the two of these people that have, there's like chatter, right? Of going like, why are these two, even like, just kind of like, a bit of jealousy or animosity or some kind of energy like that that could be existing around you, Virgo, where it's like, why are these two choosing one another kind of thing, right? And this communication here card is like, okay, it's like all of this, there's going to be some sort of like moment where then there's like very clear communication going on in this connection where we're communicating clearly on what, needs or wants or, really even communicating this, okay? Communicating, this doesn't have to be just about that, okay? It's just like I live in the gutter. And so for me, it is just like saying that a little bit, right? And so it's like, this could just really be a metaphor for moving things to the next level, right? Moving things into the next space. And that's sort of the energy existing here for you, Virgos, in a connection. Okay. Now, what's last? Last, but certainly not least, is your self-care card. First, before we do that, I'm going to pull out your self-care deck. Okay, self-care is seeds of change. I love that for you. I am growing into the best version of myself. Sprouting within me is a seed of possibility. I am gentle with myself in progress. I nurture my personal development with patient attention. I do feel like that's such a good thing for the Virgo energy to be in. I feel like it's a good thing for Earth energy. We Earth signs are very stubborn to change, honestly. Very stubborn to change. And in fact, I would say that one of the most, you might be even one of the Earth signs that I would say, because you're a, what is it when the sign is like a doer? Is it mutable? Someone let me know in the comment section. But the Virgo is the doer of the Earth signs, right? They're the one like willing to do and willing to serve and willing to. So actually, you're a lot more adaptable than the other Earth signs. But still, as an Earth sign, there is that air of stubbornness within us, and we can be very slow to change. We can be very stubborn. Okay, so I love that for you, and I feel that as well as an Earth sign. I'm really connected into that Earth energy. I think that a lot of us are actually going through a very a transitionary phase. I don't know yet about Capricorn because I haven't read for Capricorn. Okay, so let's do a self-care message for Virgo. Really quick, Virgo, before I end this reading, I just want to talk to y'all a second about the ways in which you could support my channel. One of the best ways to support me is obviously just to subscribe to the channel. Another way that you can support me is actually just by liking the channel or even having a comment. This really helps with viewership, especially liking it. It actually brings the viewership up quite a bit the more likes that the video receives. So at the very least, if you can just give me a like, I would so appreciate it. All right, Virgo, what do we got? We have the good karma coming in. I love this card. This is the Judgment card. This is, I swear Gemini got this card as well. This is, I swear, when I saw this card in the Gemini reading, I was like, beam me up, Scotty. Good karma coming in. You have made the right choices. You have done the right things. This is sort of the reward for the right decisions that you've made within connections, within the choices that you've made for yourself, and honoring yourself really as knowing what it is that you want, what you don't want, and those spaces in which you are not willing to sacrifice for the comfort of others. And I really love that for you, Virgo. All right, y'all, that is all I have for you. Happy birthday, Virgo. Thank you again so much for being here. Enjoy the rest of your night. Mwah.